What's up, YouTube? This is Mathos97 and welcome to episode number 58 of my WWE 2K15 Universe Mode. We're here with Monday Night Raw, so let's take a look at the match card for this episode. As we can see, we're kicking off the show. Daniel Bryan, one-on-one with the world's largest athlete, The Big Show. Rob Van Dam wins a triple threat against Booker T and Damien Sandow. Rusev defeats Fandango in a one-on-one matchup. So another victory for Rusev after making his debut a while back. Brie Bella, the now former Divas champion, defeats Cameron. Dolph Ziggler is going to go one-on-one with Christian in a rematch from the last episode of Monday Night Raw. Because Christian, after losing that last match, well, he immediately requested a rematch. And Paul Heyman granted his request, as it was more pleading from Christian. And then we have the main event tag team matchup, as it is the Usos taking on The Miz and R-Truth in the tag team tournament to determine the #1 contender for the Wyatt family's tag team titles at Over the Limit. We're here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin for another edition of Monday Night Raw here. And Daniel Bryan, he's got the yes movement in full force behind him. Is Daniel Bryan, of course, after WrestleMania defeating Brock Lesnar. Bryan now is just kind of looking for that next task. And originally, Daniel Bryan's goal was to face CM Punk, but now CM Punk got drafted over to SmackDown. So Daniel Bryan, he's got to find a new target to strive for. I mean, I guess his only chance at facing CM Punk, now that Punk is the WWE champion over on SmackDown, would be if Punk were to maintain the championship up until Money in the Bank, where Daniel Bryan could then win the Money in the Bank. But that all is, I mean, that kind of circumstance is very, very questionable. It's highly doubtful that such a circumstance would occur. But if that is the case, if Punk can hold the belts long enough so that Daniel Bryan could compete in and win the Bank, then there is still a chance that Daniel Bryan could very well face CM Punk one day in the near future. But at the moment, he can't afford to look past his opponent can't afford to look past his opponent tonight, The Big Show, who, since being drafted over to Monday Night Raw, has teamed up with Kane before. I mean, he teamed up with Kane in a losing effort to Swiss Thunder a while back. And now Big Show, he's just kind of, I mean, I don't know. Jeez, sorry about that. I don't know if he's going to be a tag team wrestler, if he's going to be going for if he's going to try to make some sort of attempts to go after the World Heavyweight Championship, if he's going to go after the United States Championship. I mean, I know over on SmackDown, Big Show's goal was the Intercontinental Championship. So we'll see exactly where Big Show falls into the pecking order here on Raw as the months progress, as we continue on throughout the series. I mean, at the moment, he is, he's had about a month to adjust to the Raw roster, but he's still fairly new, along with superstars like Damien Sandow, Fandango, Edge, Christian, the lots of those sort of superstars. I mean, Christian was really the one superstar who came over here and already had his spot on the show because he was the World Heavyweight Champion. Whereas you have the others like Edge, Ryback, and the superstars I mentioned earlier who are just, at the moment, trying to get themselves back in contention for whatever title they're going for. Whether it's the WWE or the World Heavyweight title or the United States Championship. Just trying to do whatever it takes to make an impact on the show. Try to string together as many wins as possible. And Big Show, he's no different than those other superstars in that regard. As we can see, Big Show now drives the knee right into the side of the head of Daniel Bryan. As this is sort of that show, modern day David versus Goliath. Daniel Bryan, he's been in these sort of situations before, though. Of course, his prior encounters with the Beast incarnate Brock Lesnar, that was definitely a match of, definitely a case of David versus Goliath. And Big Show, of course, they don't call him the world's largest athlete for nothing, as he definitely is going to have that sort of power style. Daniel Bryan, though, going to fly around that ring. He's going up to the top rope, looking for perhaps for that diving headbutt, and he connects. Daniel Bryan hits the diving headbutt. Cover on the Big Show. 1, 2. No, kick out at the last second by the Big Show. And Daniel Bryan now has the big man reeling. But Big Show with a nice counter tosses Bryan over there into the corner. Counter, though, by Bryan. Delivers the knee to the skull. And now a bulldog as he takes the Big Show down. But Big Show rolls back to his feet. And now he's stepping outside the ring. Gonna perhaps try to take a little bit of a breather. Bryan now goes to the outside. And there's a punch right to the face to Daniel Bryan. And now look at Big Show. Big Show holding him up high over his head and dropping him down to the floor. And Big Show, he's a 7-foot-tall giant, so even lifting Bryan up above his head, so that's almost an 8-foot drop to the floor right there. And that's, of course, a concrete floor protected by a thin padding, which isn't very much protection when you think about it. And now Daniel Bryan sent crashing into the steel ring post with the force of the Big Show. And Big Show could be calling for a choke slam very shortly. Oh, a headbutt now to the side of the head of Bryan. Referee up to a 7 count. Big Show going to get back in the ring to avoid being counted out. Bryan back to his feet, and he's back into the ring before an 8 count. Big Show attempted a kick, but Bryan caught it, sweeps out the legs, and now Big Show back to his feet. And here's Big Show. No, Bryan able to block. Big Show's attempted comeback, takes him down with a swinging neck breaker. Cover again, but Big Show's long legs coming into play, allowing him to get the rope break. I do apologize if my mic is... if the commentary is skipping again, as I just got a little pop-up from Norton. And the Big Show taps out. He submits to the yes lock amidst the chaos going on here with my technological services. And of course, I mentioned it in the previous commentaries. At the moment, today and yesterday are 2 days where I'm, I just finished up finals, so I have a lot of free time to do the commentaries that I've had all these videos like queued up, ready to go, and now my laptop, of course, wants to start going to hell. So thanks technology for doing that to me, for screwing up my commentaries and all that whatnot. But as we can see, going off of my little tangent there, Daniel Bryan getting over the show here tonight. So Daniel Bryan can keep building momentum towards his next goal. I mean, perhaps Daniel Bryan is going to go after the World Heavyweight Champion Dolph Ziggler, who will be competing in action here next against his rival, the former #1 contender, the former World Heavyweight Champion, the current #1 contender, Christian, as last week these two faced off in a match, and Dolph Ziggler scored the victory there. We saw there was a bit of mutual respect between the two beforehand, the handshake prior to the match. But Christian, though, after losing that matchup, it just seems like Christian, he's getting, now that he's lost the world title that he worked so hard to capture in the first place, now it appears as though Christian's just getting, he's just like desperate, he really wants that title back. Or maybe it's just a case of he doesn't, he's starting to doubt his abilities against Dolph Ziggler, because think about it. These two men have now faced off 4 times in the past, and Dolph Ziggler has won every single matchup. Every single time they've encountered, Ziggler has been the better man. So to doubt himself. As we can see, nice, I forgot what I was even going to say. That nice rolling uppercut there to the jaw of Ziggler. Or if they call it an elbow. It might have been an elbow. I'm not... Ugh. Anyway, back to the chain grappling, which we did see these two utilize in their encounter at Extreme Rules. We saw a lot of back and forth chain grappling, and that's what we should expect to see here tonight. Power slam there by Dolph Ziggler. But this is sort of the same point I was bringing up last week. I'm a bit confused as to why Paul Heyman granted Christian this request so soon. I mean, they just faced off at Extreme Rules. They faced off last week, and now they're facing off again here tonight. Normally Paul Heyman doesn't try to do that sort of thing where he has the same people facing off week in, week out. But for some reason he granted Christian's request. Perhaps this could just be some sort of, I don't know if he's just trying to test Christian at this point. What exactly Paul Heyman's motives are behind his decision. But nonetheless, we have this match here tonight, so we're going to let it continue as Christian drops an elbow right onto the face of Dolph Ziggler. And now he's got Ziggler backed up against the ropes. But Ziggler tosses Christian out to the floor. Nice counter by Ziggler. As last week, Ziggler caught Christian off guard with a roll-up to score the victory. At Extreme Rules using the zigzag to score the win. So now, Christian, he's... I don't know. What else has Dolph Ziggler got in his bag of tricks to put away Christian? I mean, Christian, though, he, like I said, he has lost several times to Ziggler now. Every single time in there they've encountered. So I don't know how much longer Christian's gonna be. Oh, frog splash! Cover on cover on Ziggler, but a kick out before even a 2 count. So I don't know how long it's gonna take Christian to finally beat Ziggler. It could be tonight, could be it over the limit, or maybe it'll never happen. I mean, Christian, that could just be perhaps what he's thinking. Maybe he's doubting whether or not he can defeat Dolph Ziggler. And if he can't defeat Dolph Ziggler, Christian's not going to get back that World Heavyweight Championship. So this is a bit of a wake-up call for Captain Charisma here tonight. There's a big clothesline by Dolph Ziggler as the match now spills out to the floor. Referee up to a 3 count now as Ziggler going to throw Christian back inside the ring. Nice chop there to the chest, and now a big boot to the side of the head. The referee gets up to a 4 count. Ziggler back in the ring. As this is once again a non-title match like it was last week. So even if Christian wins, he will not gain the World Heavyweight Championship back. So really, Dolph Ziggler has nothing to lose in this matchup here tonight. But, and again, Christian's got nothing to lose either. So this is an opportunity to see what these two men will do. How they'll fare in a matchup where nothing's at stake. You know, it's just a fair sort of competitive matchup, an exhibition matchup, if you would, between these two men. And we saw what went down last week, Ziggler with the win. Ziggler now dropping an elbow, and then the kip up as well. So Ziggler showing off as always. Christian, though, counters with an elbow to the side of the head of Dolph Ziggler. Throws him into the corner now. And here's Christian up on that second rope, looking for that European uppercut. And he connects right there to Dolph Ziggler. Christian going to go for the cover. Could have Ziggler pinned off that one, but Ziggler kicks out. Keeping himself alive in the matchup. And now here's Dolph Ziggler. He's got Christian. Silver spoon DDT right there. Planting Christian face first into the mat. As now he puts Captain Charisma back to his feet. And look at this DDT by Dolph Ziggler. The DDT vintage Ziggler right there. Goes into the cover. 2 counts. And again a kick out by Christian. And now here's Ziggler. Oh, counter though by Christian. Ziggler could have perhaps been looking for the zigzag once more. The same move that put Christian away at over the limit, or at Extreme Rules. Oh, and now a face buster by Ziggler. Planting Christian face first directly into the mat. And now Ziggler again hits the elbow drop and kips back up to his feet once more. So Ziggler, although the match continues, he continues to show off another elbow drop and another kip up. And Ziggler almost seems like he's just playing games at this point. He's just mocking Christian. You know, that might not be the case. He's just boosting his ego as always. Maybe he's not directly mocking Christian, but Christian could perhaps feel disrespected from the actions of Dolph Ziggler like that. But now Christian counters with a nice knee to the gut of Ziggler, but Ziggler tosses him out over the top rope. Christian hangs on, but he gets hung out to dry by Dolph Ziggler right there. As now Ziggler picks Christian back up to his feet. Gonna throw him back in the ring, but Christian counters. Knee to the gut. And here's Christian, spins him around. Look at this, reverse DDT out onto the floor by Christian. As he takes Ziggler out. And of course, being outside on the floor, that's gonna add some extra impact to that one. Ziggler throws Christian over there into the barricade. And now Dolph Ziggler hammering away with a couple of right hands there to the face of Christian. Referee now up to a 6 count. Ziggler and Christian got to get back in the ring to avoid a count out. Ziggler back in the ring at 7. Christian back to his feet. Referee up to an 8 count. Oh, and Christian with what a slap there to the face of Dolph Ziggler. But he was trying to go to the top rope. Ziggler shut him down. Did not allow Christian to make it to the top rope. And here's Ziggler now, pulling Christian back to the center of the ring. And another elbow drop. And another kip up by Ziggler. Ziggler just completely letting his ego take over in this matchup. Just showboating. Another elbow drop. And another kip up. Dolph Ziggler continues to go to the well, and it continues to work. And now Ziggler going back for more as he connects. This time it looks like he's going for the 10 elbow drops, the heart stopper. As right now Ziggler continues to drop elbow after elbow into the heart of Christian. 9 elbows right there, and Dolph Ziggler, well, he's going to make this 10th one count with a little bit of flair. 10 elbows to the chest on top of all the elbows Ziggler's already hit. But Christian kicks out again. But that is going to take its toll. All these repeated elbows, just targeting the same body parts, it does take its toll. And it'll add up if Ziggler continues to hit the exact same spot. It's going to wear Christian down. So perhaps there's a little bit more to Ziggler's, you know, repeated elbow drop showboating than we realize. It could definitely be more than just showboating. He could just be putting on an act. But look at this. Ziggler got Christian up on the top rope here. Superplex by Dolph Ziggler. And now Ziggler going to the corner. Off the superplex. Well, whoa, Dolph Ziggler looking for sweet chin music, paying homage to Shawn Michaels right there. Connects with the super kick to the jaw of Christian. But Dolph Ziggler, that superplex took a lot out of him. And now I don't even think he'll be able to capitalize. Ziggler manages to force himself back to his feet, goes for the cover on Christian, 2 count, and Dolph Ziggler does indeed score the victory here tonight over Christian. Although, who knows how much damage Ziggler sustained off that superplex. Yet again, another very back and forth matchup between these two. Competitive as always, like their matches tend to be. But tonight, Ziggler uses yet another method of defeating Christian. It was the zigzag at Extreme Rules, the roll-up last week, and now the super kick on this night. It doesn't matter what Ziggler uses, it's effective, he's getting the wins. And now looking for a bit of a handshake from Christian, show of respect. But Christian, oh, Christian! Christian not only refusing to shake Ziggler's hand, but what? Come on, Christian, that's completely uncalled for. What disrespect shown there by Christian. A blatant cheap shot to Dolph Ziggler, catching him off guard. And, wow. So I guess we're back to... there's that darn phone. My sincerest apologies for the interruption there. That phone, that darn phone, it's always going off at an inconvenient time now that we have it. But, as I was saying, Ziggler, yeah, Christian just completely stabbed him in the back there. Not only with the cheap shot, but refusing to shake his hand. So, I guess we're back to square one where they began at the end of the 2K14 season. I mean, that's how it all started. Christian refused to shake Ziggler's hand after the match. He did apologize afterwards, but I don't know, did he really mean it back then? I mean, has Christian just been putting on a facade? Maybe perhaps he just has that grudge with Ziggler that he just never quite let go. Or maybe he did, but then all these losses afterwards are just digging up old scars, and now Christian, he's just falling apart at the seams at the moment. I mean, Christian, not only has he just completely showed disrespect to Dolph Ziggler there, but even going so far as to take a cheap shot. I mean, it's one thing not to shake a guy's hand, but it's another thing to just not shake their hand and then attack them. I mean, that's just petty. It's completely uncalled for by Christian. But whatever, we'll figure out where that goes in the next episode of Monday Night Raw. We'll just figure out where it goes in the next few episodes of Universe Mode. Stay tuned for more. But now we have the continuation of the Tag Team Championship #1 Contenders Tournament, pitting the Usos from SmackDown up against Awesome Truth from Monday Night Raw. And this could perhaps give Awesome Truth the advantage, as they're in their own court, so they got that home field advantage. Whereas the Usos, you know, they're SmackDown talent. Perhaps the Raw crowd might not receive them as well as SmackDown normally would. As we can see, beautiful leg drop there from Truth after, you know, some showboating, some flashy moves there from Truth, as always. And now super kick to the gut by Jey Uso. And now a chop right to the chest, knocking R-Truth out of his boots. But of course, we do know that Awesome Truth, they have I mean, ever since they debuted as a tag team, they beat the New Day at Elimination Chamber on the pre-show. But, I mean, since then, Awesome Truth are kind of, you know, they'll get a win or two, and then they'll lose a few matches, and it's kind of back and forth. They don't really have anything concrete going for them at the moment. Whereas the Usos, they have been getting victories as of late. They've been racking up a couple of victories in a row, you know, victory after victory. And they've kind of been that tag team. They were around in the beginning of the Universe Mode. They disappeared for about a year. Well, not a year, a season for the most part. They were gone for a little while. But then they came back, and they've just... I think they're almost at the point where they're building themselves up as a successful tag team. And they're just on the cusp of being the next breakout tag team. And this tournament could be the time and the place for them to showcase their skills and to finally break out and become tag team champions. Or at least #1 contenders, because winning the tournament, it's a lot different than actually defeating the Wyatt family, who have crushed just about every tag team that's crossed their path to this point. And look at this. Picks him up into a Samoan drop right there. Nice double team work by the Usos. Jimmy Uso getting fired up, trying to get the crowd behind him. As the Miz right now, trying to use the ropes to get himself back to his feet. Nice double chop there by Jimmy Uso. As now he drags Miz away from the ropes, gonna drop an elbow right to the heart of the Miz. As Jimmy Uso, the fresher Uso in the matchup, now starting to get fired up in this matchup as he hadn't been tagged in to this point. Miz is taking quite a beating. He's going to have to tag out to R-Truth fairly soon as Jimmy Uso drops a knee right onto the skull of the Miz. And Jimmy picks him up now, grabbing him by the face. As look at this. Counter by the Miz as he drops a knee, or drives a knee right into the gut of Jimmy Uso, who counters the attempted DDT into a side Russian leg sweep. And Jimmy Uso now picking the Miz up. Was looking for something, but Miz countered. Strike to the back, right in between the shoulders. And now Miz chop block right to the leg. And Miz perhaps trying to soften Jimmy Uso up for that figure 4. Although it seems like anytime the Miz uses that figure 4, in a tag team match at least, the game likes to glitch up on me for some reason. It just kicks me out of the game. I haven't actually played as the Miz in exhibition or anything. The only 2 times I've really ever had Miz use the figure 4 in this game was in the Elimination Chamber pre-show, where you saw it kicked me out of the game. And then I was trying to go through this tag team tournament originally. This is like the second or third take of this matchup because Miz would use the figure 4 and the game would kick me out. So that's just kind of an interesting behind-the-scenes side note. But look at this. Jimmy Uso building up a full head of steam. Uso crazy out to the floor. Jimmy Uso going high risk. And on this occasion, it's high reward as he takes R-Truth out. But R-Truth able to recover fairly quickly as he throws Jimmy Uso back into the ring, now just choking him out there. But Truth still, he's gonna be reeling from that attack by Jimmy Uso. Truth, though, he's trying to fight through the pain, trying to put Jimmy Uso away. This is a huge opportunity for both teams. Suplex stunner right there. Truth or consequences from R-Truth. Goes for the cover, but that's a rope break. R-Truth getting a bit too desperate as he was unaware of his ring positioning. And that was an easy rope break for Jimmy Uso on a move that perhaps could have put him away. But Truth drops a leg right across the face of Jimmy Uso. But Jimmy now tossing R-Truth over there into the Usos corner. Truth with the counter, though, as now he's picking Jimmy Uso up. And he's going to set him up for Snake Eyes right there. And turns it right into an STO. Good combination there from Truth. Into the cover yet again. Forearm across the face. But it's broken up again by Jey Uso. As Truth, he's going to have to get over into the Awesome Truth corner. Nice Hurricanrana, but as long as he's in the Usos corner, then Jey Uso is going to be right there to break up any pinfalls that Jimmy wouldn't be able to kick out of. As well, R-Truth, he's going to give them too easy of an opportunity to tag in and out and keep each other fresh. So Truth, he's got to get this match back over into Awesome Truth's corner. Yet another cover after he hip tosses Jimmy in the ring. Jimmy kicks out on his own this time, as there's a stomp to the back from Truth. And now a stomp to the gut from R-Truth. As R-Truth now, he's getting frustrated. He wasn't able to put Jimmy Uso away. He gets a nice power slam, goes for the cover yet again, but either way, whether it's a rope break, Jimmy kicking out, or Jey Uso, R-Truth, he's got to be aware of his ring presence, his position in the ring. Otherwise, he's not going to achieve any success for the Austin Truth tag team. And here we go again. Jimmy Uso, he's going to catapult Truth up there for a Samoan drop by Jey. And now Jey Uso, he's going to the top rope. Could be looking for the Uso splash here. As he's up top, look at this. Halfway across the ring, he connects. Hooks the leg on R-Truth. 1, 2, 3, that is it, folks. Jey Uso picks up the victory for the Usos here tonight. So the Usos are going to advance to the semifinals in the tag team tournament. They're going on to face the Shield. Next week on Monday Night Raw, we'll be seeing that match take place. Next week on SmackDown, we'll find out, well, I should say this coming Friday on SmackDown, we'll find out who will face the Brotherhood in the semifinals. Right there, that beautiful splash, poetry in motion, as Jimmy and Jey, they get the win over Austin Truth, and they get to move on. They live to fight another day in this tag team tournament. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you all for watching. Be sure to stay tuned for the next episode when it does come out. And we're going to get one more look at the tournament bracket. But until next time, thank you for watching. Keep on YouTubing.